life was so desperate for me, seeing my 6-year-old little sister waking up in the morning and wondering what the day had. My mother was in a health situation that was helpless, and it killed her knowing that she was unable to provide for us as children. And so she used to cry a lot. And so as children, we said, we don't want to see our mother cry like that every time she looks at us. And so what we're going to do, we decided as kids that we'll wake up every morning and just go and leave before she can see us. And so I used to wake up, my sister Doreen was 6 at the time, and I used to walk a lot with her. Richard and Sharon used to take another route. And we used to wake up and just come, step out of the door, out of our small shack. And I used to ask her a lot because I trusted chance on her. I said, Doreen, which direction? That one or this one today? And she could look, and she's like, yeah, let's go this way. And we used to just go. Wake up in the morning and just walk the streets, hoping that along the way we'll find dropped items, things that we can pick, tins, and find food, and find dumpsters that other kids haven't gone before us. And as we kept walking, I remember this day when we had walked such a long distance, and my sister began to be concerned because we were so far away and we had found nothing. It was about 4 in the afternoon. It was very hot. And my sister just stopped and said, Richmond, we need to turn and go back because it's getting late. And I said, of course, sure. And so, but as we turned back, I noticed that she was weak. And so I suggested for us to sit on the side and rest. And as I took my position to sit so that she can join me, I looked at my sister's face. And in that moment, I knew I had to find food. And so I got up from where I was and just ran away towards the street. And I saw this banana truck that was heading down to the marketplace. I didn't care what else was coming. I just ran after this truck. And as soon as it slowed down the road, I was able to jump on the back, pull a few bananas that were sticking out, and jump right back. And I remember arriving back to my sister, and as soon as I gave her the bananas, she told me, Richmond, where did you get this? I said, don't even care about it. Just have those. And she was glad, and she peeled them quickly, and she ate. And that was joy. But for me, I did not see this situation changing, even in the near future. And so it was a hopelessness mixed with desperation and pain. And it was in these circumstances that the decisions and the thoughts and my self-worth, all that was being attacked by everything that was surrounding me. My circumstances needed to change. And they did. A lady named Heather, she was 15 at the time, through compassion, decided to sponsor me. My mother had approached Compassion and shared with them about her state, shared with them about the state of her children, said, these are my children, they're just all over the place. Nothing is being done. And Compassion took our pictures. And they came and they assembled all of us, and we stood, ready to take our pictures. And they took our pictures and they brought over to the States with a small bio of who I was and how many siblings I had, my birth date and all that. I got the news that a lady named Heather, she was 15 at the time, had decided to sponsor me. I rejoiced. I danced so much. My mother too. Now some of you have been to Africa, and you've seen that we dance a lot culturally. It's just a dancing culture. I remember my mother that evening, she was not in a good physical state to dance, but she used her shoulders a lot. And she kept dancing using her shoulders just because we had gotten the news. But for me, I was younger, and jumping was my style of dancing. So I kept jumping back and forth from one place as I kept rejoicing and turning around, because finally news had come to me. Richmond, food is going to be provided for you. But not only that, I had such a protruding belly, and I was just sunken in many ways. I was, from places I ate, my health had been so attacked and ravaged completely. And I got news from Compassion Project saying that there is going to be a medical checkup, a whole, I don't know how they call it, but there's just a scan where they find out whatever is wrong with you. And that's going to be taken care of. That joy, and also just the fact that my name was going to be placed at Family Clinic Hospital, which was a hospital close to me, so that any time that I felt even symptoms of malaria coming. Malaria is a disease that has just killed so many of my friends. Friends of mine, Bernard, I can even mention them by name. We played with them 1 week. The next week, they get malaria. 3 days later, if the mother cannot come up with the cash to pay the hospital bill, they are gone. I remember friends of mine that I played with. So it was a real fear in my life, praying, waking up, hoping that I was not beaten the previous night by mosquitoes, and therefore sick of malaria now. And so to be told, Richmond, your name has been placed at Family Clinic. Whenever you feel symptoms, just go. Just go. Don't wait. Richmond, just go. To make sure that's going to be taken care of. To know that, and they told me one other thing, Richmond, you can finally go back to school. Your sponsor is going to take care of all of that. That was the reason for my dancing. There was so much joy in my home for days. And then I received my first letter from my sponsor. My sponsor wrote to me and said, Richmond, you're my first friend out of the United States. I clearly remember my reaction when I read that. I was like, she calls me her friend. Wow. I knew myself. I knew my self-worth that time. I knew my appearance. That's not an appearance someone would easily want to hug or someone would easily want to come close. She is calling me her friend. And that just touched the very depth of my heart. And I believe that maybe poverty told me a lie. Because poverty had told me, Richmond, you're nothing. Look at you. Where will you end? If somebody randomly asked me, Richmond, what's your future? I knew what I would say. I didn't see myself apart from the dumps. As a matter of fact, I saw myself maybe part of the dumps someday. And then someone comes along and says, Richmond, I love you. At first I thought, is she trying to be nice to me? Because she doesn't even know me. How can she say she loves me? But then she said it again. She said, Richmond, I love you. She said it again, Richmond, I love you. She said it again, Richmond, I love you. In many different ways. And I remember the day that I believed her. I said, man, she does. She loves me. She loves me. She does. And I rejoice and just loosed me to be free from what poverty had told me all along, that this is who I am. I am worthless. I am not worth anything. I'm not valuable. But that impact went further than that.